There you go. Welcome to my boudoir. And then you sit along on your chaise and see how you feel to be in a palace. No, I have no time for a palace. It's time to do the right thing for the people outside of the palace. Like how Buddha used to do. Remember Buddha? His name is not Buddha. His name is Gautama Siddhartha. He had enough of palace experience. He never learned anything about life. So one day he escaped the palace, the fortress, the gates of the palace with his caretaker, and he got on the back of an elephant. He leapt out of the palace and continued his quest about life. Those days he never wore a mask, remember that. But that's 2,500 odd years ago. Don't think that you are living that time now on the planet. Because for 2,500 and I don't know, so many plus years since Buddha was here, we have turned the planet into what was then was one thing. No roads. You had to walk. The one who walked was able to experience. There was no way to fly, no way to drive, no way to even draw on a cart. Nobody even had the invention of the wheel. Or did they? They understood something about rolling over. Something like this, but not for decoration. Now it's sort of like a support on my back here. Look, another sausage roll. Anyway, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Buddha, the Siddhartha, Gautama Siddhartha. He left the palace and start exploring his inner world. Then he was told, and he saw, the first person he saw was a man on the sidewalk. There was no sidewalk, just outside of the palace walls. He saw a man lying down on the floor. So he asked the staff, his caretaker, "Who is this?" "Oh, he is sick. One day we will all be sick like him." So he kind of cringed the idea. How that is possible? I had all this. How can I be? I had everything in this palace. How can I be sick in any way? Then the elephant was just stepping along, going on, and then he saw a wounded man with scabs and in bad condition. Say, what about this person, this life, this human being? Oh, he's wounded and he's not healing his wounds and he's getting weaker and weaker. Really? This is what happens to this body? And then they carry on further. There's a child, a mother, and a family. Starvation, in hunger, completely in skeletal. The body is completely weak, frail. Say, what about these people here? Oh, they have no food, they have nothing to eat. So is that what happens when you don't get to eat anything? There's no food to eat? Yes. And further on, a man was screaming in excruciating pain. Say, what is this man? Why is he screaming? Oh, he's going through a pain and suffering through emotions of his life that someone has lost, closest to him has lost life. They're going through emotions and pain and suffering. That happens? And then they were going on in the outside, continuing on the elephant back, and asked, what about this man lying across? Oh, he's passed away. His life has ended. So this can also happen to me? So the caretaker said, yeah, all these conditions are human conditions. That our body will become this. One day we have to leave everything we created. I say, really? So what am I doing in these palace walls that I didn't know? That suffering was part of life? No, suffering is not part of life. Life is an exuberant experience. Suffering is because we have been rooted in our mind, we have been rooted in our body, so the suffering is inevitable. So when that is the case, when we are rooted in our mind and our thought, in our emotions and our energies, and when we are rooted in our body, we will suffer, because the mind and the body are the two ways that suffering can enter. Once you are rooted in your mind, anything you imagine, anything you think of, your thoughts, all become part of this suffering. It's called the mental, psychological suffering. Then whatever enters through your body, the health, the weakness of your body, the strength of your body is weakening, frail, illness, that's your physical suffering. So if you distance yourself slightly, if you take your mind away from your body, distance, the suffering might just ease or just reduce. If you distance your mind from your body, all you have to do is distance your mind from your body and body from your mind. The two things that intertwine, which will then, you're almost free of suffering. The true freedom, the true life that one can experience is not by living inside of the fortified walls, but the true life is always outside of the walls of every palace that you live in. And once you realize this, you become a realized being. Until such time, we will continue to suffer no matter how much you've got. When it comes to life, we haven't got anything. All we have got is a temporary, brief, fragile, mortal existence for us all. and that all has to come to an end one day. But how profoundly have you lived, and how extensively have you lived, will determine your journey of life. And it's my wish and my blessing for everyone to experience an incredible and a healthy and a strong life here on earth. Whilst you journey through, if you can reach out, be gentle and conscious about life around you, and recognize and embrace the life of all. I think as human beings, this is the most fundamental and the most incredibly important duty that we can leave behind for our great creation of life and on this existence. Thank you.